I'm here with Stassi today, and we are going to be doing a review on our water bottle stands. This has been requested several times, and I've been meaning to get to it, and I'm finally doing this video for you guys. First of all, I wanted to tell you a little bit about Stassi and what's going on with her, kind of give you a little bit of an update before we get into the review. So Stassi is now almost 6 months old, and she is growing. She is much bigger than what we when we got her. She is about 8.5 pounds, and from what everyone is telling me, her breeder, the vet, different Shih Tzu friends and different Shih Tzu show breeders, it seems to be that she is going to really stop growing pretty soon. They say Shih Tzus kind of get to their adult I guess size when they are about 6 months old, and then they do kind of fill out just a little bit, but most of their growing is done right up until they're about 6 or 7 months old. So she's almost at that point, which would probably put her on track to be the 10 to 12 pounds like her breeder thinks that she will be, which will be perfect. Her hair has grown so much. I don't know if you guys can see it, but she's so fluffy. She has a beautiful coat, and so far we really haven't had any problems with matting, and I know that it's because she's still in her puppy coat. So once she goes through that transition at about 7 or 8 months old, they transition from their puppy coat into their adult coat, and I've heard that that can be a little bit of a trying time because they tend to mat up a little bit more, so we'll have to be more diligent with our brushing at that time. But then after that, I think it kind of evens out a little bit and gets much better. But so far, we haven't had any matting issues, and she's been really easy to maintain. Her hair on her top knot has grown, and today we have she's wiggling around. Today we have 2 5/8 puppy bows in for pigtails. So today is the first day that we actually have been able to get those in where it doesn't look too big. So that's nice. And when I do buy the 5/8 bow size, I do buy 2 of them at a time so that if I want to do pigtails, I can. And that's what she has. That's what she has in today. So she's doing really, really well. She's doing well with her pottying, except for this morning she had a pee-pee accident, but I think she was mad at me. I kind of locked her out of the bathroom where I was getting ready, and she peed right there. So I think that was more of a pissed off pee. But anyway, other than that, she has been great with her pottying. That's why I think that it really was that she was being mad at me, because I know she knows where to go because she does it all the time. I find that she has slowed down on her eating. She was eating pretty robustly twice a day, but sometimes she doesn't eat twice a day. I put it out for her, but then she doesn't really want it, so then I pick it up. But she's growing, so I guess she is taking in with, what she needs. Other than that, we are still working on leash training with her. She doesn't really like the leash and walking on the leash at all. I think she thinks she is definitely a princess and likes to be carried everywhere. I think she's a little stubborn with that. She's very, very smart. So I think she has her own plans. The only issue that I'm having with her really right now is she gets really, really robust and plays with the other dogs and cats pretty roughly. So that's really my only issue with her. If I can teach her not to do that, then I think that, she would be 100% perfect. But she is 100% perfect anyway, huh? So we just are working with those few little things, and I know, she's still a puppy, so we have to kind of do those things and work around some of those little issues that we're having. But other than that, she is an excellent puppy. Here at the studio, she comes with me every day, and she is absolutely an angel. She doesn't bark, she doesn't whine, she sleeps most of the day, and then she pretty much just hangs out at the studio with me. So it's really been working out very, very well. So on to the review. So today we're going to be doing the review, like I said, on our water bottle stands. Now, if you have a Shih Tzu, are you not comfortable? What is the problem? So if you have a Shih Tzu, and even if you don't keep a Shih Tzu in a long coat, like I am going to keep Stassi in, but even if you have a little bit of the hair on their beard, you should be using a water bottle instead of a water bowl. It keeps their faces much, much drier, and when their faces are dry, then you won't get all of that yucky staining. So, as you guys know, I have 4 dogs at home, 4 dogs total. I have the 2 Chihuahuas, the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and Stassi. So before Stassi came along, I was using Spaniel bowls, which I love. I loved my Spaniel bowls. They were gorgeous, they were handmade, they were like a ceramic bowl that has a smaller top, and then it kind of fans out at the bottom. And the reason why I was using that was because of Harper's ears. But when I got Stassi, or before I got Stassi, I knew that I wanted to kind of transition everybody over to water bottles instead of bowls, because if you have more than one pet, you can't have water bottles and bowls in your house. It just doesn't work, because she's not going to know to not go to the bowls. So I had to switch every bowl in my house over to water bottles, and they really did very, very well. I started training the older dogs before Stassi came home, and they really took to them almost immediately. I did have to put a little bit of peanut butter, and then I did put a little bit of coconut oil kind of on the tip of it to get the older dogs used to knowing what to do with the water bottle, because I had, you know, Chi-Chi is 14 and Paris is 12 and Harper is 2.5. So they've always used bowls, so they had no clue what to do with a water bottle. But within hours, they all took to it, and they were all drinking fine out of their water bottles. So it really is easy to train even the oldest of dogs. Like I said, Chi-Chi is 14 and she picked it up right away. And if your dogs are, you know, if you introduce a water bottle into your home, you just do what I say with putting the little bit of, you know, whatever they like. If they like peanut butter, or if they like coconut oil, or anything that you think is yummy that would get them to lick it. And then once they start licking it, they start, you know, feeling the water come out. And then, you know, dogs are smart. They know, you know, oh, this gives me water. And so it was pretty easy to get them all to start using them. Stassi came from her breeder already using a water bottle, so she was really easy because she knew exactly what to do. I also love using the water bottles over water bowls because I feel like their water stays much, much cleaner. I know, like in my house, because we do have cats and, you know, the dogs, their water bowls would get kind of full of hair, you know, we would have hair in them, and we'd have to, you know, wash them out every time you fill them up. So I really have found that the water stays nice and clean and fresh, and it's really been very, very easy for us using the water bottles. And the cats don't use the water bottles. I have one cat that does use the water bottle, you know, he'll go up and drink from it, but I keep the bowls and the cat food in my utility room, and there's a little gate there. So they still have the bowls and they drink out of the bowls, but the dogs can't get into that cat area. So in my house and wherever the dogs are, it's strictly these water bottles. Now, I wanted to get a water bottle stand that was beautiful because, you know, it's in our house, and we you know, I mean, it's like a piece of art in your house. Anything in your house is like decorative. I like to have things that match and things that are pretty. And so I found this website, and it's called Paws Creations. The lady who owns it and makes the water bottles name is Betsy, and she is so sweet. She even worked with me on specific colors that I wanted. She does offer quite a few colors on her website, and you can get them, you know, whatever matches your decor. But I wanted one to match the studio, and that's the one that I'll be showing you in this review when we get to the product itself. And it was specially made for the colors that I wanted. I wanted a Tiffany blue color because the colors in the studio, excuse me, the colors in the studio are Tiffany blue and brown, and because I like to match everything, Betsy was so sweet and made me the Tiffany blue color, and it is beautiful. I also have a light pink. I actually have two light pink ones that are at my house because, you know, they're girly and we love pink. Pink is our favorite color. And so she doesn't really have the light pink ones. I don't know what is her problem right now. You're licking my makeup off? Excuse me? How rude. So she made the light pink ones for me as well, and they are just so pretty. I love them too. But then I also love her colors that she has on her website, and I have those also. We have quite a few of these stands, and it's because I wanted one. Okay, I have one in my studio, and then we have one in the RV, and we have one in my kitchen. And then I have one in Harper's playpen and in Stassi's playpen. And then we also have another one where I have my Chi-Chi and Paris usually stay in my bathroom. I have a big master bathroom, and you know, I don't put them in a rover pen. They stay in there when we're not home. I mean, when we're home, of course, everybody runs and plays, but when we're not home, the dogs either go in their playpens or the Chihuahuas go in the master bathroom. So I had to have a bowl, or I had to have a water bottle in there for them, so I have one in there. So initially it was quite expensive for me because I had, you know, I have multiple pets and I have multiple areas where I keep the pets. So for me, it was quite expensive transitioning from the bowls to the water bottle stands. However, now it's done. So I have all of them that I need, and we are all set up. So I will get to the review and let's look at the stands. Okay, so this is our water bottle stand that we got for the studio, to match the studio. So you can see that it's done in the Tiffany blue, and it is just so pretty. I just love the detail on these stands. Now, when you, before you order a stand, you will need to measure your pet. And if you go to the website, pawscreation.com or pawscreations.com, you will see her way that she explains how to measure your pet. So make sure you measure your pet so that you know exactly what size to get, because these are all custom made. And so once it's made, I don't believe that you can return it because it's going to be made specifically for the height of your pet. There are several options. You can get different colors, you can get different heights, and you can get some with a cutout like this one. You see the little heart cutout there, or without the cutout, and I have both. I have, some of mine have the cutout and some of mine don't have the cutout. Now let me explain what's going on in the bowl. At the bottom of the stand, you have a drip bowl. Now the water bottles don't drip, so that's a good thing. They don't drip. However, when especially Stassi, I find she does this the most. When she she drinks really fast and really hard. So when she's drinking, that's when the water bottle drips. And at first I had a problem because as she was drinking and it was dripping, it would go into the drip bowl, and then she would put her face to lick up the water in the drip bowl, which really defeated the purpose of drinking out of a water bottle, because then her face was sopping wet. So I knew that I had to figure out a solution to that problem. So what I have done is this. I have taken a sponge and I cut it to match, or to the shape of the bowl. So I cut it to the shape of the bowl, and then I used Velcro, like the big, thick, wide, heavy-duty Velcro, and I put the Velcro on the back of the sponge and then also at the bottom of the bowl. That way, when the sponge gets too damp, I can take the sponge out and let it dry, and then, or put another one in, or if it starts to get any mold on the sponge, you can replace the sponge easily that way. Now you may, if you have a problem with your Velcro sticking, you may have to use a little bit of Gorilla Glue at the bottom of your Velcro so that that doesn't come apart from your sponge or the bottom of your bowl. But this works out perfectly because it catches the water that drips, and not a whole lot drips, but even, you know, without this, even if we had, you know, 4 or 5 drops of water in there, she would put her little smushy face in there and then she would come up all sopping wet. So this has worked for me, even though it's not the prettiest thing. I don't like that, you know, I have this yellow sponge on my beautiful stand, but I guess functionality was the most important to me to prevent that from happening. So if you guys can think of another solution for me, please leave that in the comments below. I am always open to suggestions and ideas. Okay, so like I said, the stands come in different heights. So depending on the height of your dog will determine what height you get for your stand. I want to say this is a 24-inch stand, but don't quote me on that because I can't remember exactly the size that I bought. But I think I bought all 24-inch stands. I will find out and leave that in the link below. But don't go by that too much. More so, you have to really measure your pet, because all pets are different sizes, and so what works for me may not work, you know, the size that works for me may not work for you. But I think this size would work for most Shih Tzus, but depending on what type of pet you have, you know, you would probably need a different size if it's a much bigger or different, you know, smaller or bigger than a Shih Tzu. So they are adjustable, and I will show you the back. So on the back, they have these holes, and so you can see there are quite a few holes that you can adjust this. So it is very, very adjustable. I have mine here, and all it takes to adjust this is to unscrew this nut, move it up or down, and then screw this back on. So that's so simple. And she even has her hand-painted stuff on the back. Isn't this adorable? So, and she's really great to put her website on there. That's a great idea. I hate when vendors make something and then, you know, years from now, sometimes you don't remember where you get things from. And then if it's not labeled, you don't know where to go back to. So she was a very smart lady and put her website on here, and that it was created by Paws Creations. Okay, so it has this nice handle as well. So if you need to move it, which I have, you know, I move mine around sometimes, especially like if we're cleaning the playpen or, you know, whatever we're doing. This nice handle makes it very easy to move your stand around if you need to move it around. All right, and then Okay, and then I will tell you a little bit about the options that you have for your water bottles. She has 2 options for water bottles. You can either get the 32 ounce or the 64 ounce. Now, to be honest with you, I wish that I would have gotten all of mine in the 64 ounce. This one is a 32 ounce. And the reason why I got this one just in the 32 ounce was because Stassi is the only dog here at the studio. And so, you know, it really does work out fine, but I just wish I would have gotten 64 ounces because you have to fill it less often. But I guess the good thing about the 32 ounces is that you have fresher water if you only have one dog. So that's the good thing about that. But I do have both sizes. I have some of my stands have 64 ounce bottles, and it's just a wider bottle. It's about the same height, but it's just a wide bottle. And then just a couple of my stands, I think this one and the one for Chi Chi in Paris is a 32 ounce, but everything else that I have is her 64 ounce size. The bottles are a nice quality. It is the Lixit brand, and she does send you the bottle along with the stand. She also sends the plain drip bowl, which is like this. It won't have the sponge modification in it. I'm probably the only one that has ever done that, but anyway, it works for us. And then, of course, you get the beautiful hand-painted stand. Now, let me give you a little bit of detail on this gorgeous, gorgeous hand-painted stand. She has a quote at the top, and it says, "Pets give us unconditional love and leave their paw prints on our hearts." So I love that. That is so, so, so true. And then we have like beautiful vines and flowers and butterflies. And if you notice, the leaves on the vines are paw prints. Isn't that adorable? Just look at the detail. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. It is gorgeous. And it is filled with every inch of this thing is hand painted. And then look, she signed it here with her name, Betsy. That's sweet. That's a cute little touch. And then we just have all of the different hand painted stuff just all over it. I'm noticing we might have a little bit of mold right there, so I'm gonna have to replace this one. So we'll do that today. That's the only problem with this solution, is that if, you know, that stays wet, it's going to get a little bit of mold, and you know, we don't want that because we don't want the pets being exposed to any type of mold. So as soon as I'm finished this, I didn't notice that before, as soon as I'm finished this, I will go and switch it out. I do have several of my sponges already cut, and so all I have to do is switch it out. Now you will notice here that little Miss Stassi has chewed the end of her stand. So I'm quite upset about that. So my suggestion for all of you is, before you put the stand down, spray the corners with bitter apple. I should have done that before I, you know, put the stands down. And I think this is the only one that she got, and her food bowl I'm noticing over there. But this is the one that, you know, is at the studio, and she's here with me the most out of any place, because we, you know, we work a lot, and so we're here all the time. And so she got to this one pretty good. I have since sprayed it with the bitter apple, and she does not fool with it now. But of course, once the damage is done, it's done. So that is quite unfortunate, but she, you know, I've had her since she was 12 weeks old, and puppies chew, and this is made out of wood. So they're like little termites when they are puppies, and so you want to make sure you protect yours with bitter apple spray before you let them, you know, near it. That way yours won't be chewed up like ours is. But that's okay. It still works. It still works great, obviously, and it is beautiful. Now, she also makes food bowls, and we have several of her food bowls, and they are made with the same beautiful detail just like the water stands. So we have all of the beautiful hand painted vines and paw prints and flowers on the water bowl, and then it's raised, so that makes it really nice so that your pets don't have to bend all the way down to the floor to eat their food. So it is raised, and raised food bowls are always an advantage over non-raised food bowls because they say that it helps put less pressure on their little necks. So that's really cool. It does come with a removable food bowl. And it is, you know, the stainless steel bowl, so that is really good that it's not plastic. Just like the water stands, this is made out of wood, and you can get this to match any of your water stands. So it's beautiful, you know, when it's next to each other. It makes a nice set and a nice show for your home. So again, these are done by Paws Creations. Tell Betsy that I sent you and Stassi the Zoo sent you, and I'm sure you will love her. She has great customer service, and you guys know how I am about that. She is very easy to work with. She's a sweetheart. She, you know, pretty much gets on these as soon as you order them. So even with my huge order that I placed, it didn't take her long to get these to me at all. And they came in just as perfectly as I knew that they would. And so give them a try, and it's pawscreations.com. All right, guys, this concludes this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and comment on our video, and also subscribe.